Okay, everybody has brought up questions about the bridge, et cetera, what's going on with it. Latest information came this morning when Eric and I had a conversation with Scott Gibson. He's with Cumberland Securities. He's the one that would issue a bond if we needed to issue bonds, et cetera. I just wanted to clear up a couple things before I let Jessica come up. A lot of people ask me, we've got a wheel tax, a high wheel tax. Why can't we use the wheel tax to pay for the bridge? Well, the wheel tax technically is misnamed. It should be called a privilege tax, otherwise known as a wheel tax, but it doesn't pertain to the roads. In fact, the original wheel tax was $20, and at that point, it was decided to break it up three ways: highway department, schools, and general debt service, which meant that of the original $20, highway department gets $6.67 out of that $67. So they don't get the whole thing. It doesn't go toward the roads. It goes toward other things as well. After a while, we tacked on another $40 and then another $7, and those funds, $30 goes to the general fund, $10 to public safety, and $7 to the schools. So out of that additional $47, the highway department's share didn't go up any. There were $6.67. If you're thinking we've got enough highway money to build a bridge from the wheel tax, we don't. Remember that $6.67 is what they get. Now, I didn't get a chance to talk to Danny Jones today, but I've got some ideas, and he's going to have to get on board with it. So what I'm saying is kind of a tentative thing now. We do have approximately $1.2 million set aside for bridge repairs. That money comes from the state, but we're projecting we're going to need a minimum of $20 million to replace that Goshen Valley bridge. So the 1.2 is not going to cover it all, but I've banged my head against the wall for money with state, federal officials to see if there's money out there. Right now, there's not. In this fiscal year, there's no immediate funding available. We can apply for various grants for the next fiscal year, but we've got no assurance of receiving really anything. Now, the best shot we've got for a bunch of money is the federal bridge improvement plan money. Their cutoff was a couple months ago for this fiscal year. They'll open it up again next year. But I talked with them about what the requirements are going to be on that. And we're going to have at least 20% of the total funding required readily available for the county's match for that. So in other words, around $4 million to get that match. It could be higher because Bridge Improvement Program likes to roll a bunch of bridges in together. We've got 6 right now on the list that need to be fixed. So we may be able to do it all under Bridge Improvement Plan, but keep in mind the Baltimore Bridge is going to take up a lot of that fund, and they only usually award 2 of those per state per year. So it's going to be heavy competition. But if we can have money available and show them that we have made progress toward working on this bridge, it probably will give us a little bit of an insight on getting that money. So, and you have to keep in mind that even if we had $20 million in our pocket today, we're looking at multiple years of permitting, design, engineering, preparation before construction even begins. So we've got multiple years there. Like to get the thing moving as quickly as possible, and my proposal would be to begin studies and engineering for the bridge immediately, using a portion of that bridge fund that we've already got stashed away, so we can get that rolling so it doesn't drag behind. We know we're going to have to replace the bridge, and we know in order to do that, we've got permitting, studies, et cetera, all have to be done. So I'm going to try and work on getting that money, and Danny's going to have to agree to it. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to talk to him today. And then Scott Gibson with Cumberland Security suggested that we have the commission pass a resolution that would allow for issuing bonds for the bridge fund should they be needed. So we get that part rolling, and then that resolution could become part of our application package with the Bridge Improvement Program. So they know that we've got money available should we need it. That put us in a position to act pretty quickly if we needed the money, become part of that federal grant application, like I said. The tough part is, and here you go, just throw things at me if you want. In order to pay for the bonds, we figured that we're gonna have to have 10 extra cents on our tax rate to pay for that bridge debt. I know that's not what anybody wants to hear, but there is no other source of income right now to get that together, to pay that bond if we should need it. Like to go ahead and put that hike into effect maybe, so if we did that, we know we're gonna have to show money to match the federal money. If we did, we could start using some of the money to make sure the roads that will become detours around the bridge are in shape to handle the added traffic. So there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I mean, we are working on it. And I told Jessica this morning when I talked to her, we're working on it. But that's the latest that I have on that. So, Commissioner Gillum, you got a question?
Yeah, I wanted to say a couple of things. One, I wanted to say I appreciate you, Mayor, and the work that you've done on trying to work out this bridge issue. I know technically roads and highways aren't in your job description, really, right? And so I know you've had to step
Everything's in my job description, John.
You've had to step outside of your area expertise to take care of that, and you've tried to take the lead on it, and so I appreciate that. And on the question about the town halls, budget hearings, that type of thing, I'd be glad to participate in anything like that. And I'll tell you, county budget is much more complex than even I thought that it was when I got into this. It's not nearly as simple as I would like for it to be, which only magnifies if people have interest in learning about it. It is going to take more than just attending a budget meeting or asking a 3-minute question at our meetings, which we all understand that it's appropriate to have those time limits. But if you want to understand it, it's going to take time to learn it, because it's quite complex with different funds and revenue sources and all of that. But I'd certainly be glad to help you.
Okay. Anybody else before I get Jessica here? Jessica, come on up. We won't bite you. She told me this morning she's going to be nervous. Just don't worry about it. You're among friends.
I'm good, but thank you for touching on that and all the hard work you all put in. Miss Landon knows exactly where I live. Yes, her daughter-in-law is my neighbor, and I totally didn't think of that until I saw her sitting here. But mostly what I wanted to talk about, you don't need to see the reports, you don't need to see the money, you won't know all that. But the impact this bridge is going to take for the people who live there. I grew up down here. For 27 years, I was in Rogersville. I had no need to be on that end of the county. So I invite you all to travel. I know Mark touched on the alternate routes that will be needed. They're a little shaky, and I'm afraid things will snowball if those end up being the main routes to get out of there. Going up from Mountain View Road and going out Miller's Blood were the two that I'm most concerned about. So I invite all of you to journey on that end of the county and look at those roads as you're making decisions about this. I know there's a lot on your all's plates. Just my story is my husband works at Eastman. He works 4 weeks a day, 2 weeks of 3 to 11. It's on 3 to 11 tonight. He would be up here doing this instead of me. My little boy, my little girl's not with me tonight, but they go to Cedar View Christian School. Both of those are in Kingsport, so most of the things my family does now is in Kingsport. So we're going to have to go up and over that mountain road if the bridge closes. And all the local business that we do in Church Hill, going to Food Line, going to the pharmacy, that's that much longer. Whereas I live a mile and a half down Goshen Valley right now, it's going to add 30 miles for me to get out of there just to go to the pharmacy unless I transfer everything out. So that's not only either it's gonna impact me or it's gonna impact the pharmacy. So that's just kind of the personal part of what you all are having to do with. So, but thank you all for digging, and if I can be of assistance as somebody who lives over there, please let me know. I'll greatly love to be involved. So thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. Appreciate you.